G'day guys, welcome back to another one of Nathan Bell's excellent commentary videos where he talks about art, culture, politics and everything in between. Today, Nate wants to talk to you about money. Before you go on, Nate, don't forget to like and subscribe, whatever platform you're on, and give it a share to a friend that might like it. So Nate, tell us about your theory on money.
Yeah, well, I just wanted to say a couple of brief things about money. When I was in my 20s, many years ago, I had this view that I used to say, we should abandon money. Money has no intrinsic value, right? And it's like, well, the truth is money is just paper which represents value. It doesn't do anything itself. It doesn't serve any practical purpose. Like diamonds, the thing that diamonds do, which is practical, is they're used in lasers to cut things. But just being pretty, well, that's only aesthetically pleasing. It doesn't serve any practical purpose. Same thing, money, as you know, doesn't do anything. It doesn't actually do anything. It only represents value. It only represents wealth. So that was my philosophical position when I was younger. I used to dismiss money as worthless and think that money was a problem for society and that our society's focus on money was a poor priority for us to have. Then as I got older, what happened was I was sitting around with my friend the Iron Man, who I used to do research with, and we used to do all this different research into conspiracies and stuff. And anyway, I expressed my view to him one day that money was worthless and didn't have any real value, and that I wanted to live in a world without money. And he said to me, no, Nath, the system has to have money in it. And I thought about that, and what I came to realise after some musing is it's about organising society. Money is one of these things where it serves a practical purpose. It makes trade easier to manage. So this is what I've realised. Having currency, because without currency you're left with a barter system where you can't correctly gauge the value of items, and you have to trade this grain of sand for this bunch of apples. And how many apples is worth this much sand? And currency and putting prices on things is a more effective way to organise trade. So it's really just a practicality of life. And where currency emerges, civilizations are usually at a state when currency emerges where they're becoming more ordered. So it's this idea of chaos to order. The unregulated, disorganized society is just people getting around and trading and exchanging goods in a random fashion without any particular organisation or structure. Bringing in currency organises this so it flows better and moves better. So it's this bringing order to a chaotic environment. That's what money does. It makes everything flow better. It makes it so much easier to manage everything. Now a person can say, I have this much material wealth, and they can say, I'm going to spend this much material wealth on this and save the rest for something else and invest this much. So you can say, all my material wealth is represented in this amount of money. It's just such a more practical way to organise your affairs around trade. So it was when I had started to have realisations about the nature of trade, and that the free trade is unregulated trade. And when I started to think about barter economies versus currency, that I realised that really thinking about a world without currency is not a good idea. It's a far more disordered world, and currency just brings much more structure and order to the affairs of trading. And trade is such a big part of our lives, and that's another thing I've realised over the last few years of doing research into these things, is to come to appreciate that trade forms a big part of our lives. So I've abandoned this idea that we should abandon money, or that money, I used to say money was the root of all evil. I think the real reality is greed is the root of all evil. Money is just a representation of wealth. The personal motivation of being a greedy individual, that's an evil individual, someone who is greedy and selfish. All money is a representation of how much material wealth is in any individual's possession. So I don't think money is the root of all evil anymore, and I don't see money as this big curse or problem for society. I've just come to realise it's just a practical way to organise trade. So I don't know what sort of world I wanted to live in when I was in my 20s. I think I thought that I wanted to be a farmer or living on my own property, self-maintaining and growing all my own food and vegetables and blah, 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 and living off the grid and being one with nature. I've abandoned that vision now for a more tech-savvy vision of a world where things are, I suppose, better organised through technology and things like currency. And it's interesting to go through history and look at when currency emerges and how it changes the market of a civilization. And there are many civilizations that have had currency. So we can look at when currency emerges in different civilizations and how that helps them progress forward with regards to technology and societal organisation. So I definitely think I have concluded that I've abandoned my naive view that I had in my 20s that money was evil or a problem for society and that we should abolish money. And I've now concluded that money is practical and serves a very real practical purpose. So drop a comment in the comment section about whether you see the value of money or whether you think, like I used to think, that we should abandon money and that money is the root of all evil.